TECHFEST Vietnam is the largest annual event for innovative startups in Vietnam. This is an opportunity to promote the image of a dynamic startup ecosystem, welcoming cooperation to develop science, technology, and innovation for domestic and international businesses.
5-10 năm trước, một cái doanh nghiệp nội địa, họ coi cái vấn đề cập nhật công nghệ hay họ coi cái vấn đề đổi mới sáng tạo là một cái chuyện có thể làm, có thể không làm. Nhưng rõ ràng là tới cái thời điểm này, đặc biệt là sau giai đoạn Covid vừa rồi, chúng ta đã thấy rồi. Chúng ta work from home, chúng ta bây giờ có TikTok, chúng ta có Facebook, chúng ta có những cái đại nền tảng tỷ người dùng. Thì rõ ràng cái công nghệ ngày hôm nay đối với doanh nghiệp, bất cứ một cái mô hình kinh doanh gì nó là câu chuyện bắt buộc chứ nó không còn là lựa chọn nữa.
Thì chúng tôi vẫn mong muốn là tổ chức nhiều hơn các hoạt động kết nối quốc tế, không chỉ là offline mà cả online. Bởi vì trong đợt dịch Covid vừa rồi chúng tôi đã tổ chức rất nhiều chương trình sự kiện online. Và chúng tôi mong muốn là tổ chức một số các cái cuộc thi khởi nghiệp hỗ trợ cho cả các cái sinh viên ở Việt Nam cũng như là các sinh viên quốc tế, và chúng tôi đang có làm việc với rất nhiều đối tác với quốc tế rồi. Và chúng tôi mong muốn là sẽ có nhiều chương trình chất lượng hơn nữa để hỗ trợ cái hệ sinh thái khởi nghiệp ở Việt Nam.
Thống kê gần đây năm vừa rồi.
With the theme of adaptation, transformation, breakthrough, TECHFEST Vietnam 2020 continues the previous year's message about connecting and converging domestic and foreign resources to support startups despite the difficult context of the COVID-19 pandemic. It is said that, although the COVID-19 pandemic causes many difficulties, startups with a spirit of adaptation, transformation, and breakthrough can look for opportunities during this tough period. Hello everyone and welcome to Sharing Vietnam on VTC10 of channel. In our today's program, we're going to have a great conversation with Miss Céline, founder of Linagora Vietnam. In our today's program, she's going to share about the opportunities for Vietnamese startups. Thank you so much for joining our program today.
Thank you, Ms. Zhang. And hello, everybody. Very happy to see you today.
After a few times joining TECHFEST Vietnam, how do you see the updates of TECHFEST Vietnam 2020?
You know, actually, I joined TECHFEST 5 years ago for the first time. So I can see really the difference from there to now. I'm very actually happy also that it is now in Hanoi, the city where we work. So and I can say that from the first time and now, more village, much more startups. I would say that the ecosystem was absolutely not the same 5 years ago. In the previous editions of TECHFEST, there were a lot of international and everything was focused on international. And actually, I'm very happy and proud that this time it's not only about international, it's about how Vietnam can show international what's going on there. And that there is actually a lot of very interesting things going on here in Vietnam. And so in this, specifically for this, I think the edition, 2020 edition, is going to be very special. You know, it's not about how do we look to outside, it's how outside is looking at Vietnam and the Vietnamese ecosystem. So I love it, really.
With experience of founding Linagora Vietnam, what is your experience in supporting and developing open source in Vietnam?
Then I'm CEO and founder of Linagora Vietnam, which is an open source company working to develop e-government solutions, but as well as actually alternative to American software. So our business, at the end of the day, is to create Vietnamese software with Vietnamese people for Vietnamese markets and to go outside the country to that. So in this way, we completely are committed to work with the Vietnamese national initiatives to develop Vietnamese technology. Yeah? And I think that actually one of the things that is very interesting is that open source is probably one of the best technology to develop your own technology faster, more secure, and actually to be able to at the end of the day, go internationally and sell out your stuff outside. Right? You know, one of the first thing I did back in 2015 is actually to partner with one of the, I would say, the best university in technology here, which is Khoa Hanoi. Right? I have been investing in the last 5 years actually with building with Khoa Hanoi specific classes on open source technology. Because what happens is that when you are students, I mean starting when you're 2, 3, 5 now, you start with Microsoft software. You're certified, Microsoft certified, Oracle certified, Cisco certified, but not open source certified. So why is that, right? So it all starts with education, right? So this is actually why I have invested first in education and partnership with Khoa to work on this, because if you don't raise awareness on open source technology, you will never, you know, it will never happen. And this is basically why you see Microsoft is giving up, for example, all licenses, all free for all schools, universities and everything, right? Because actually it helps you get addicted to it, right? So anyway, we have to bring awareness, and education is first the key, right? Second thing is also bringing awareness to the decision makers, because up to probably 1 or 2 years from now, all the decision makers, whether they be from the government or decision makers in private sector, they would only say, okay, I want to take the best of the best. And for Vietnamese, but actually it's not only in Vietnam, but it would mean American software, right? And actually, this is no more the case. So it's all about also talking about why other countries have chosen open source before. And for that, France is probably one of the most iconic in this, because the government of France, all the eGov solutions, they, not all, but a lot of them, have been made and built up out of open source software. So it's also, how do we bring that to Vietnam, bring awareness and etc., right? That's the second thing. Third thing is, I have to say that because of startups, because they're using open source, things are getting much easier, right? And fourth is that I think now the maturity of the ecosystem and startup ecosystem and globally IT ecosystem here is big enough to be able to build on their own. They get confidence, and this is how you use more open source also.
Startup Incubator is an environment that helps entrepreneurs, especially young people, to implement their business ideas in the fastest and in the most cost-effective way. With the basic support from incubators, young people can find opportunity to move closer to their dreams and build up their own businesses. Until now, there are a number of incubators and organizations in Vietnam, such as HBI Incubator, Hoa Lạc High Tech Park, FPT Companies Incubator, Saigon High Tech Park. So far, the number of incubators and innovative startups in Vietnam is still not really high. In fact, many startups do not participate in Vietnamese startup incubators, but they join international incubators instead, which is due to the limited number of startup incubators in Vietnam. TECHFEST is a place where Vietnamese and international startups and incubators have an opportunity to see each other, to find something in common, and to cooperate.
As we know, Station F is the largest startup incubation in France. So, could you give us some comments about the startup incubation in France, as well as what can Vietnam learn from it?
You know, I am working on the projects here to bring this kind of Station F to Vietnam. The thing is that Station F is great, it's beautiful, it's huge. It concentrates, schools, VCs, people, programs, but also research center. And actually, what Stations F at the end of the day does is that it brings everybody, all the ecosystem in one place. So this is what's really, I was talking a little bit earlier about ecosystem. This is actually what we want to do here, right? The thing is that my take is that now we can no longer do Station F-like, but we need to have something with a thematic. So FinTech, Station F or Station H or Station V, yes. Only, just incubation is not enough now. So this is the project I have been working on for Hanoi to build actually a sustainable city living lab. I think that it has to have a thematics. It has to bring actually all the ecosystem in one place, but you can only do that if you focus on one specific objective, right? So sustainable city, yes, of course. FinTech, yes, it will happen. Maybe not next year, but probably in 1 or 2 years it has to come. But actually there's also a lot of things to do on agriculture. Agri-tech is probably I would say, undertaken right now, right? But, we have to look at what Vietnam is doing good and actually bring the tech on top of this. Because this is how we can build, in a more sustainable way, really the future unicorns for Vietnam.
As the Vice President of AB VietFrance, what is your future plan in supporting the Vietnamese startups?
So I'm here because I'm Vice President of an incredible association that is called AB VietFrance. We are working to develop economic relationship between French and Vietnamese businesses. It has grown tremendously in the last 2 years. We are over 300 companies inside, and actually we organize or co-organize a lot of events each year. So that's one thing. I have been working between France and Vietnam for 5 years now. I'm half Vietnamese also, so developing a relationship between the two countries is very important for me. I think that entrepreneurship is something that you can find easily in the Vietnamese blood. Because entrepreneurship is something very high here in Vietnam. The thing is that it was mainly about trust, about themselves, to be able to do that, and also some expertise that was lacking. That actually now with all the VietQ, like people like me that I feel, the people like me that want to get back to the country and bring back to the country, I think now it's no longer an issue. And of course, I'm gonna say what everybody says, but COVID has helped also to show the world that something's going on here, right? So I think it's also something, and this is why this year, this TECHFEST is going to be very, very nice. Yeah.
Once again, thank you so much for your valuable insights today, and we have to say that we really appreciate all the love that you spent for Vietnam. You return to Vietnam and support our Vietnamese startups really well.
Thank you very much. And yes, don't forget, if you want to get help in France, AB VietFrance is there.
That's the end of Sharing Vietnam today. If you have any questions or recommendations, please send us to sharingvietnam@nepatui.net. Thank you so much for watching and hope to see you next time. Goodbye.